What's going on, guys? It's your boy AT Money, and we're back with another banger video. Today we evaluate my conference semifinals predictions plus my picks for the conference finals. Like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Without further ado, let's go right into the video. We start with the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Atlanta Hawks. I had the Hawks winning, and I was proven right. What did I tell you about those Sixers? I warned you about Ben Simmons. Oh, I warned you about how one-dimensional the Sixers are offensively. I warned you that they couldn't close games, didn't I? I saw this before you can even fathom this very possibility. You thought, oh, AT Money, this is your Philly bias kicking in. Oh no, now Sixers fans, y'all are stuck applauding my incredible foresight while calling for the departures of both Doc Rivers and Ben Simmons. Head chokers. The Hawks did an exceptional job shutting down the Sixers, forcing Embiid to do it all in a partially torn meniscus. Credit where credit is due. They played great basketball and battled back against the odds. Trae Young was immaculate. And they showed that the team as a whole is a way greater sum than their parts. But this is not the Hawks doing good. This is a Sixers collapse, which is what I expect them to do. Ben Simmons was an offensive liability. Don't think I forgot about him. He was an offensive liability. His allergy to taking jump shots is problematic. But the worst part is the free throws. 34.2% from the free throw line, which is worse than NBA postseason history. Yes, with a minimum of 70% attempts in a single year. That's worse than Shaq. That's worse than Shaq. If you're doing worse than Shaq at the free throw line, something's wrong. He needs a shooting coach now. Next up is the Nets versus Bucks. I had the Nets, but the Bucks won in 7. While Brooklyn made some mistakes, don't get me wrong, injuries were the killer here. KD had to carry the team as well as Harden and Kyrie were out at various points, and even when Harden came back, he was never 100%. And oh yeah, Joe Harris pulled the disappearing act as well. But give the Nets a year to show where they really are. They're going to be healthy. They're going to continue building that chemistry. They will be the team to beat. You know what? I'm going to declare right now. The Nets are winning it all next year. Mark my words. The Bucks showed fight, and if they make the NBA Finals, I might be able to safely say that their mental demons have officially passed them. They made Milwaukee a fortress, winning all their home games, even when their back was against the wall. Giannis was a big factor despite the struggles of the charity stripe. Chris Middleton and Jrue Holiday turned up when needed to close out games. The bench provided energy, while the entire team as a whole defended well. Mike Budenholzer just officially saved his job. For now, at least. Next up is the Jazz versus the Clippers. The Clippers, despite going down 2-0, clawed back and won 4 straight to take the series in 6. Tyronn Lue and Paul George just silenced a lot of their critics as they closed the series without Kawhi Leonard. Their ball movement and fearlessness served them well against this Jazz team, a resilient team with great capabilities on the defensive end. They are a formidable opponent for whoever they face. But the Jazz let this one slip. Rudy Gobert made us question his 3rd Defensive Player of the Year as he got cooked on the perimeter. Given he's never been a great outside shooter or an elite scorer period outside the paint, his defensive frailties would put even more under the spotlight than they would for other defensive-minded bigs. This Jazz system got cracked by Tyronn Lue as they showed each player's defensive weaknesses, especially the aforementioned Gobert. The Jazz are too thin, as the loss of Mike Conley literally turned them into an entirely different team. This is a lack of a capable replacement. Donovan Mitchell had to both score and create. And if you know what happens when 2 guards are forced to do that, it's never a good thing, especially when they've never been an elite creator in the first place. The rest of the team crumbled in Conley's absence in games 3 to 6 due to lack of shot creation. However, Conley's missed just as much, if not more, defensively. Donovan Mitchell also got his questionable defense put on blast without Conley being there to match the opponent's best guard. This added defensive responsibility on Mitchell's shoulders hurt the Jazz more than the stat sheet may show you. Now finally, the Phoenix Suns versus the Denver Nuggets. I had Phoenix winning, but not in as convincing a fashion as they did. The Suns manhandled Denver en route to a sweep. The Suns put on a clinic as their star backcourt of CP3 and Devin Booker shone along with the likes of Mikal Bridges, DeAndre Ayton, Jay Crowder, Cameron Payne, Torrey Craig, and Cameron Johnson. They played great team basketball on both ends of the floor and showed an ability to close out games that some teams might want to look at and apply to their fourth quarter game plan. They know who they are, don't worry. But now we gotta talk about Denver. I knew you were gonna lose the series, alright? However, not in the way you did. Michael Porter Jr. officially confirmed that his ball handling and defense are atrocious. On top of that, he had a dud of a game too. Nikola Jokic had it all to do, but he had no help from the rest of his team defensively. Again, they are without Jamal Murray. However, they should have won at least 1 or maybe 2 games. This should not have been a complete manhandling. The Nuggets literally just rolled over, showing no fight whatsoever as they got embarrassed by double digits time and time and time again. It was a literal joke to watch. Now, on the brighter note, my predictions. Yay! Let's see if I can get more than 50% this time. We start with the Suns versus the Clippers. Despite all the great things I've said about the Clippers, there is no way they beat the Suns. I'm sorry. Phoenix are too deep, and once they get CP3 back, it's game over for the rest of the league. I have the Suns in 7. It's going to be close, but the Suns are too deep and too talented to not take this one. Next up is the Hawks versus the Bucks. The Hawks have pulled the greatest underdog story of the postseason. The Bucks barely got by an injury-hampered Nets team. I think this one can go either way and should go the full distance as both teams perform well and their backs are against the wall. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Trae Young will be under a bigger spotlight than before as both are trying to reach their first NBA Finals ever. I know, it's crazy that Trae Young made it to this point before Luka, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. I hope you enjoyed the video and comment your predictions below. That's all from me, and peace!